Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel, where we delve into the mind of a villain. In this entry, we'll be taking a look at Soldier Boy from Season 3 of the Amazon series, The Boys. Given that this is an analysis of this character, do note that we'll be going into full-on spoilers for Seasons 1 to 3 of The Boys, so if you're not up to speed, you might want to check out for the time being. But for those of you still here, let's continue. Like most of his fellow Vought superheroes, Soldier Boy was a fraud. He was more of an actor than a hero, a heavily flawed man with much emotional baggage, employed by a mega corporation to play the fictional part of America's hero. A violent, prideful, and volatile individual, the tragedy of Soldier Boy can be summed up with the following: his lack of social awareness. Due to his self-inflated ego, he is unable to see himself for what he truly is, and when the people around him react negatively to him, he does not understand it and thinks the fault is on them. Soldier Boy was the result of America's need for a rallying hero in one of the country's darkest times, in the horrors of World War II. As the legend mentioned, the country placed so much emphasis on their need to feel heroic that they swept all the filthy crud under the rug and told themselves a myth like Soldier Boy. And for the most part, it worked, as he was Homelander's hero growing up, probably along with millions of other kids for generations. But compared to his mythical reputation, Soldier Boy is an empty shell. He comes off as insecure when he constantly has to boast about his feats in World War II to assert his ego, when in reality they were all staged photo shoots, like the so-called storming of Normandy. Given how indestructible he is, one would wonder why Vought would not have just sent him on those actual missions. Perhaps they were overly protective of their investment, not wanting to send him to foreign soil, or more likely, there was just no financial profit in it for them. Like any of us, Soldier Boy is a product of his environment. In his case, he remains largely influenced by the societal norms and values of the 1940s, hence his old-fashioned sense of masculinity. In his eyes, being a man means being emotionally hard and insular, as seen when he tells an upset Huey that when he gets afraid or sad during a mission, he simply does nothing. But more importantly, due to his traditional form of machoism, Soldier Boy despises the notion of men needing love and attention. When he sees Homelander crying over the lost years of what could have been their father-son relationship, it absolutely disgusts him, just like how he despises Butcher's sentimental feelings over Ryan. For Soldier Boy, being emotionally vulnerable is a disgusting weakness. It's absolutely hypocritical, given that earlier on, he himself was all emotional and sobby when he confronted Crimson Countess. And unlike his projected public image of a noble and righteous man, Soldier Boy is in actuality a vicious and violent bully, often abusing those around him both verbally and physically. Such is the nature of his pride, that he cannot accept the possibility of others ascending to his level. For this reason, he brutally beats up Black Noir when he goes out of line to advance his career, and when he returns to America and first hears of Homelander being the main hero at Vought, he disputes it and says that no one is the new me. His contrast to being a role model also extends from his pleasure-seeking lifestyle, that he is a womanizer given to many vices, drinking and recreational herbs being some of them. Soldier Boy is a man of many flaws, but what makes it worse is that no one can stand up to him. This results in the previously mentioned tragedy where he is socially unaware of how others perceive him. One could say that this is the curse of being the most powerful person in the room. You become surrounded by yes-men and bootlickers who only agree out of fear. Soldier Boy is a world-class jerk, but no one would dare call him out on it lest they incur his wrath. This brings us to a pivotal point in his life. his betrayal by payback to the Ivans. Almost his entire team hates him, but he remains blissfully ignorant of that fact, hinted by his surprise when they turn on him. After his awakening, when he confronts Crimson Countess, it's revealed that he thinks he was betrayed by his team for money from the Russians. In actuality, the truth was much simpler, that they just wanted to be rid of him. Soldier Boy has no incentive to change, and why should he, when there are no negative consequences to his actions? After all, he still has the public's admiration. Mallory summed it up best, that the people who appear to like him are only humoring him or afraid of him, but they certainly do not like him. It's no wonder that Soldier Boy misreads people, thinking that he is in good social standing, when in reality, everyone despises him behind his back. The pinnacle of this misreading occurs with Crimson Countess, the supposed love of his life. Imagine the absolute shock he must have felt to discover that the woman he loves and his pillar of strength during torture actually hates him and was part of the effort to betray him. The fact that such a one-way relationship can happen is truly a testament to how ignorant Soldier Boy is regarding the perception of others. Yet, in spite of all this negative feedback, Soldier Boy does not reflect on his own actions or consider the fact that he might be at fault. Perhaps he is so used to public admiration that he cannot accept that he is in fact the very opposite of who the media portrays him to be. Despite his long list of brutal crimes, from which one might presume he may be prejudiced, he maintains a positive self-image of himself despite destroying the lives of families like Marvin's. We hear him reaffirm to Huey that he is not a bad guy and that anyone he hurts had it coming. This is how he justifies himself, how he reconciles his noble public image with his horrific actions. Despite his flaws, Soldier Boy has some redeemable qualities. When he is confronted by Marvin, he does not attack him, although Marvin has demonstrated clear aggression intent. Perhaps this was out of some measure of guilt, as he remains stunned by the fact that he destroyed Marvin's family. He also appears to be loyal to those who help him, as seen by how he cooperates with Butcher. As a man of his word, he honors his agreement to kill Homelander, although he remains conflicted by the mission, as Homelander is one of the only two people with a blood relation to him. Perhaps if Homelander had not become emotional, Soldier Boy may have broken his agreement with Butcher. When analyzing Soldier Boy's character, we would be remiss if we left out his upbringing, and the most noteworthy aspect would appear to be his estranged relationship with his father. In his personal recount, Soldier Boy had a critical father, one who had impossible standards and hence was never pleased. While he was spared the rod, he was labeled a disappointment, which caused him to enter Vaught's program. Despite his achievements as America's hero, he still never gained the acceptance of his father, who now labeled him a cheat, saying that a real man wouldn't have taken a shortcut. Due to his troubled relationship with his father, Soldier Boy wants to become a dad himself, to show that he could be a better father than his own. When he learns that Homelander is his son, he appears to show a more humane side, telling him that he would have been willing to give up his coveted place in the spotlight for him, saying that it's what any father would do. But tragically, just like Butcher, history repeats itself with Soldier Boy, committing the same mistake as his father. But what's interesting is that a confused Homelander first says, "I'm you," which Soldier Boy actually agrees to, before labeling him a disappointment. In this key moment, we see that despite all the justification for his actions, Soldier Boy has some form of self-loathing, which he projects onto his son. He considers himself a disappointment, and this self-loathing is so great that he seeks to end Homelander, much to Butcher's delight. Perhaps when Soldier Boy said that he wanted to be a better father, What he actually meant was that he wanted to raise a son who would turn out to be better than himself, and not that he would be a more compassionate and loving father. Therefore, when he sees that Homelander is a reflection of him, he cannot accept it. But what's even more shocking is that he does not appear to care for his grandson either, and condemns both of them just like that. Ultimately, Soldier Boy was his own worst enemy. He was a child who never had the acceptance of his father, who then became an adult who lacked the maturity to wield the power he was given. But due to his position as the most powerful hero of his time, his deviant acts went unchecked and unpunished, causing him to spiral further down the path of moral decadence, all while he remained ignorant of his true state. Minus the years he spent frozen, he was at least 63 years old, proving that maturity is not a function of age. For that reason, perhaps his nickname proves to be rather fitting. So what do you think of Soldier Boy from Season 3 of The Boys, folks? Who's the more evil villain, him or Homelander? And are you hoping to see him in the series again? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and take care.